What's up, everybody? We got another mini installment of a commentary here, BTM Podcast, revivalhouse.net. We're going to be doing another Twilight Zone episode.
Season 2, episode 26, Shadow Play, one of my favorites.
Okay, Zach likes to ass play. Let's do this. We're watching this on Netflix, so this is streaming there, so you guys can follow along with ease. I know all you guys got Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, Zach will give you his password. Just let him know.
If you don't have Netflix, just ring your call buzzer. My friend Tommy will come over and hit you in the head with a tack hammer because you are a retard.
What?
That's from Tommy Boy.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like... I knew it sounded familiar, but I thought the actual Netflix was actually integrated in there. So we're going to watch this. We're going to do a 3, 2, 1 countdown. And Zach, he's going to be he's the connoisseur of Twilight Zone. So he's going to be throwing us with the facts, hopefully.
Well, yeah.
Let's not waste no more time. 3, 2, 1, play.
That's a great little theme.
It is.
Is that played on the guitar? Sounds like it.
It does kind of sound like strings, yeah.
And they added like the... That's the strings.
Let us know. What's this episode about, man? You kind of inform us. Educate me.
Basically, this is an episode about a guy who has the same dream every night. It always starts out the same way, just like you just start. This is the start of the dream. Every night, you know, he has this dream that he's convicted of a crime and he's sentenced to die. So he's living out the last moments of his life every night, and it's becoming more and more, it's just starting to torture him, right? And basically, throughout the episode, he's trying to convince a lawyer that he doesn't exist and he's just part of his dream. And like, no, you don't understand. He tells him stuff like, oh, when you go home, your wife will be cooking this. And then he goes home and his wife is cooking that. He knows stuff about him that he shouldn't know because it's all, his life is from him.
So,
and that's basically the episode. We don't even have to watch it now. We can just talk over it.
It's kind of like a Groundhog Day effect, but you're saying the day resets for him, the trial resets for him.
Yeah, so there's little variations that change every night, and basically he's like, well, if this is a dream, what do you care? It's not going to hurt you. Like, you can't really die in a dream. And he basically tells him like, well, if something's real in your mind, it's real. You know, we tend to believe the things we tell ourselves. So he believes he's really dying.
At what point does it reset? Does he like wake up from this dream? Huh.
You'll see throughout the episode. We'll see, baby.
Okay, so he keeps talking about I won't die again, but he's just in the sentencing. He's at the court. I mean, or does he go through the whole process of getting killed?
He mentions that. He mentions to his lawyer, he's like, look at me. I was just sentenced. I'm getting ready to be put to death in the same day. When does that happen? And his lawyer's like, that doesn't happen. Maybe he's right.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of playing with kind of these cliches we see in TV, and like things don't really happen like this.
Where they move super fast.
Yeah.
Or in the case of Brawl and Cell Block 99.
Yeah.
Where things move unrealistically fast.
See, maybe he just saw this episode and thought, I'm gonna make something like that, and people won't know. They'll think I'm just speeding it up for, time's sake. Really happens in real time. That's a little known fact. Everything happens in real time in that movie.
Is there any episodes where this guy doesn't appear?
I think he's in all of them.
Like breaking the fourth wall?
There's one episode in season 4, which it's the hour-long episodes. It's not on Netflix. Basically, you gotta get the box set. I think those are on Hulu, maybe. But, he even appears there, and that's the one episode that actually wasn't supposed to be a Twilight Zone episode. Like, a French little short film won the contest to be a Twilight Zone episode. And he tacked on an intro for that one, too. So he's in all of them. And that's a pretty good episode. Very minimal dialogue. It's kind of like Jacob's Ladder before Jacob's Ladder happened.
Gotcha.
It's a guy getting ready to be hung in the gallows, And well, I don't want to give it away. I just did. But
did they have gallows back then still?
It takes place in the Old West. I think
it does,
if I remember right.
Back in the Old West, when I don't know, that guy's clearly black. Was he not? I mean, I guess the Old West happened after slavery too. The Old West was going as long as the turn of the 20th century, like the late 1800s. So I guess.
Oh, this episode doesn't happen in the Old West. The episode I was talking about does.
Oh, my bad. I was like, yeah, this the outfits they're wearing don't really match up and align with the period you're telling me.
On the last episode we did of the Twilight Zone, there was a little like intro of a TV interview that Rod Serling did. And he was actually talking about some of the stuff we talked about on that latest episode of Deep End, where like advertisers kind of get to fucking change the shit you write in your script for just stupid reasons. Like he had an advertiser selling coffee or something, and in the script there was a line like, I'm going to go get a spot of tea. And they're like, can you not have him say tea? We're selling coffee. We don't want to put tea in the people's minds.
Tell them you're getting Folgers, and also sandwich in there that it's also your favorite part of waking up, best part of waking up in the morning, something like that. Just make it seem natural. Well, they do that with movies too. When when a big movie comes out and they make a sequel, it's kind of like Batman Returns, right? Where they want to sell McDonald's toys. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, you got to kind of tone this down because we're going to sell Happy Meals with it. We've already got the fucking paperwork, with the ink fresh on it. We're going to work out a deal with McDonald's for marketing.
I was thinking about that the other day too. That's really funny because Jack Nicholson talked Danny DeVito into doing the movie because of toys, and then they couldn't even make toys of his penguin because it was too scary looking for kids.
Well, he brings up the toys because the thing is that he was kind of selling him on doing it because of the deal Jack got, but the deal Jack got was not the deal DeVito got. Jack Nicholson, he got a record payday for the time. He ended up making about $50 million from that movie because he took a certain salary and he took a back end cut.
Yeah.
A back end cut of the merchandising and all that stuff. So yeah, for him and the toys, it was a huge fucking deal. Mm-hmm. So it always kind of felt like, hey, Danny, you got to do it, man. You're going to get this, like Danny's going to get the same deal.
Hey, Danny, I'm at this party with my buddy. Fucking, we got some 13-year-old girl here, but you got to do that, man. I'll call you back. He's going into the hot tub with the girl, man. It's going to get crazy. See ya.
This joke kind of falls flat when you forget Roman Polanski's name. Most people are like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, the Roman Polanski incident happened at Jack Nicholson's house.
Yeah, at a party.
See, look, so this is a little plot thing here. She was cooking steaks right there. Mm-hmm. So when he comes home and says hi and everything, he knows she's cooking steaks. He goes and talks to the guy in the jail cell, and he says, okay, when you go home, she'll be cooking something else. I'm going to change it since it's my dream. And then when he goes home, she's cooking something else, and that's kind of what convinces him. Well, that's one of the things.
Them steaks looked good, though.
This is actually an episode they remade in the 80s version of the show. 80s version is probably not my favorite. Probably my least favorite, even compared to like the early 2000s.
Did they try and do the same thing as Tales from the Crypt, though? And they had like, was it 80s or 90s, though, by the way?
80s and then again in the early 2000s.
Did they try and do like the celebrity thing?
They did. The first episode has Bruce Willis.
Really?
And they went from a 30-minute show to an hour-long show, and they put 2 stories in each episode on that one.
So they did that. That's a pretty big score, Bruce Willis. And you don't think it was even on like the level of Tales from the Crypt?
I've watched the least of it. But every episode I've seen the episode where they remade this. Didn't think it was as good as the original one. So yeah, I got that box set. I need to dive into it.
Oh, do they do a lot of remakes of the original series?
They did a couple, like some of the more classic, like The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. That episode was redone. This one, I was gonna say the guy on the plane, but that was in the movie.
Do they call it the Twilight Zone, or does it have a different name, like Twilight Zone: The Next Generation?
It's called Twilight Zone, yeah.
So why isn't it on Netflix then, if it's the same series technically?
I don't know. Maybe another company owns it or something.
I mean, well, I wonder if there's any. I'm not used to seeing that on. I don't remember that being on in syndication. You know, how did you see it? Where were you watching it?
I saw it on probably Sci-Fi Channel when I was really young, and that was a show that my dad was watching, and I saw it, and I always remembered it growing up. Like, Dad, you remember that show where this lady she finds like a stopwatch, and she can stop time? Like, there's scenes of her going through like the grocery store, and some lady gets the last box of cereal. She pauses time, takes it out of her hand, but then it ends with like a nuclear bomb falling, and she pauses time. And basically, she's stuck there for the rest of the time because if she unpauses it, she's gonna die. That was like the ending of it. And he was like, "Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember what it was though. It was an episode of Twilight Zone. I found it recently. It's the first episode actually."
This guy kind of looks like Guy Pearce, the dude talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I can go ahead and assume that you prefer this show to Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
I haven't seen a lot of that either
Because they're very similar.
Mm-hmm. That's another hour-long show, I think, if I remember right.
Maybe they're not that similar, and I'm just saying that because they're both black and white, you know? But maybe they're really different.
Very suspense, mostly on that show.
Mm.
There's a couple trivia for this episode. Let me see. The title refers to the ancient art of shadow play or shadow puppetry using opaque figures that cast shadows on clear curtains. Such entertainment is known in countries throughout the world and is presented in theaters and by traveling troupes.
So what does that have to do with this episode, though? Why is it shadow play? Why are they calling it that?
Maybe drawing a line between, how the dream always goes the same way, pretty much, and then like a little, puppet play.
Don't you fucking lie to me.
That's what I'd assume.
Don't you lie to me. The twist. That's the twist, is that this is all a puppet show. And it's going to end, and they're all fucking behind a curtain, and there's some guy with strings.
There is an episode like that.
Really?
There's an episode where they're trying to get... I think you said you remember that. Remember the clown? There's a couple different characters in this weird area they can't get out of, and then
the toy box.
It's revealed that they're toys in a toy box.
Yeah.
Here's the other trivia. The song that Coley plays on the harmonica is "The Silver-Haired Daddy of Mine," first recorded in 1931 by Gene Autry.
It's the
only two trivias.
Isn't that a porno, My Silver-Haired Daddy?
It's a song, babe. See, here's them meeting for the first time. Or no, not the first time, but since the trial.
So who is this guy? Because obviously the guy that went to the house was the lawyer?
Yeah, I think this is the lawyer.
Who was the skinny guy that looked like Guy Pearce that was talking to him?
Yeah, it's like a friend of his.
Okay.
that he heard the trial. If I remember right, he's kind of like, I don't know, something about what he's saying sounds... I don't know. I can't believe him. He sounds like he's convinced of it.
This the actual prisoner, he looks like a very young Harry Dean Stanton.
What's he from?
Huge character actor. He was in the original Alien.
Oh yeah.
You know that guy that's in a shit ton of movies? He just died recently, like last year.
Mm-hmm. Could it be him?
I'm gonna look. I doubt. I mean, he looks like a young version of him. Maybe it is. Let me double check. It'd be interesting to see. I don't think it's him, but it looks like it.
I'm not seeing Harry Dean. I'm seeing Harry Towns.
I mean, he just kind of looks like him. I don't think it's him. I wonder if was there any actors on this show that went on to do other things?
Burgess Meredith was in a couple episodes.
A couple, really?
Mm-hmm.
We all know him as Mick. And Penguin.
You gotta piss lightning. What is it he says?
Crap Thunder.
The Crap Thunder. He was on the episode where the bookworm, the guy that loves to read, and he ends up in a nuclear war. There's a big threat of nuclear weapons back then, so that kind of reoccurs throughout the series. And like they did a couple that weren't really scary. They were kind of ironic, like kind of dark comedic. So the ending of that one was he's in the nuclear bomb happens. He's the only one left because he accidentally, got stuck in this cellar, this bomb shelter. So then he's all by himself. He's got all these books to read because there's still some scattered among the rubble. And then he fucking drops his glasses and accidentally steps on them.
What a dipshit.
So it's like, oh, now he can't fucking even read. He might as well die. That's what I always thought. Like those people that are like, man, I'm storing up food. I got a bomb shelter. I'm going to live, man. I'm going to live after the world ends. It's like, why would you want to live after the world ends?
You know what's weird is I would be that guy that would want to survive. And, it's like,
I wouldn't.
Because it's like, what if you were one of the lucky ones and then you'd have to wander the world looking for other survivors? Because there's got to be, you can't be the only one, really. You might feel like you're the only one, but you can't be. And you'd have to sit there and try and locate them. And then you'd have to restart the Earth's population. You get the fuck everybody.
Mm-hmm. See, he's talking. He's like, you remember a time when you felt like, really scared. You remember how much it tortured you. This is what I'm going through, babe. There's some good performances in this episode.
It really is. It's still got that old school kind of overacting quality, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the stage play style acting or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of where acting originated. So it took them a while to kind of break out of that.
Like they really took drama to heart. Don't be super overly dramatic.
Yeah. Oh, my dog just farted in the other room and I smell it in here. It's fucking rank as fuck.
What's Riverman think about that? We don't have the button. Load it up.
We don't. I looked up how to make a soundboard with Flash, where you can put pictures of what you're clicking on.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I need to download a program that costs money though, so maybe I'll do that.
How much does it cost?
I think 20-something bucks.
Ooh.
Maybe I can find a free version of it. I'll see. But that would be cool. I could just... Because the one I got now, I basically had to just name them something like name them a name and then map them to a key, and then I always forget what's this key do again?
But now you can have Bill Cosby's fucking head with a pudding pop sticking out of his mouth.
Yeah, just like that fucking Skrillex looking kid, and then you click on it, it's like, you're a white male. That would be really nifty.
Does anybody fucking listen to Skrillex anymore?
I don't think so.
He was really popular for a couple of years.
He did an album with Korn.
He produced a few of the tracks on that album. It's like, get the fuck up, get up.
There was that one with the little girl, and it goes, God, I want one now.
I didn't actually listen to the album. I just remember the single was the Get Up with Skrillex.
I just remember that Call 911 now because it was one of the music videos they watched on the revival of Beavis and Butthead and were making fun of.
Oh, was it? How was that revival?
I enjoyed it. I got the Blu-ray of it.
It didn't last.
The Mike Judge Collection Volume 4 is just that whole season.
I just think Beavis and Butthead revival failed in the same way that I'm scared Bill and Ted will too.
I hope not.
You know what I mean, though? It's just they tried to bring back Beavis and Butthead on a now prehistoric MTV that's not even the same. It's not the people that watch MTV now don't even know it when it was music, and it's not. It's like we're gonna put Beavis and Butthead on here on the same network we have Jersey Shore.
That's why whenever they brought it back, not only did they watch music videos, they watched 16 and Pregnant and Jersey Shore,
which is kind of funny.
It was, yeah.
But still, man, it just, when things are a big success, I mean, it's a lot of things that work. And part of that, though, that equation is timing. Right place, right time.
Mm-hmm.
If you take it out of the time period, it might not be as successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious to how Bill and Ted will translate, man. I mean, I wonder if they're going to play off they're going to have to. If they're older, they're probably going to use that to their advantage, like playing off the modern stuff and how they're maybe dated too. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's weird. It's going to be Bill and Ted in this world where people aren't listening to fucking Whitesnake or whatever, And I don't know. Are they really sticking with that Bill and Ted Face the Music title, or is that still a working thing?
It sounds like a working title. I saw it referred to as a working title too. Yeah.
I hope so.
You see, that's the only thing they kind of like just kind of tacked on. Like we need some kind of deadline. So okay, it ends at midnight. We have till midnight to get to him and stop him from being killed. Because if he gets killed, we disappear because we're in his mind. So how do we get that to work? Okay, it ends at midnight. How do we know that? That's how it works in the movies. So yeah, that's the only thing that's kind of like what. But they had to fit it into the fucking 20 minutes or whatever.
Did you read today that Bill and Ted Face the Music is going to start filming January 10th, 2019?
I didn't. That's cool.
Yeah, they announced the start of principal photography. It is.
I'd give anything to work on that set.
It is going. It is moving forward.
See now it's kind of playing with that like. He's seeing these faces, so they have to be faces he's seen throughout his life.
Yeah.
And he's kind of thinking like, oh, are you the guy that I saw when I was a kid? Or I've actually heard that. I've heard that every face you see in your dream is like your subconscious.
I've always thought that. I've always thought that it's impossible. It's like when you have a sex dream and it's not really about anyone in particular and it's just like a face you kind of made up. I don't think we're that creative where we can just like make up faces. It has to be somebody you saw even passing by. You
combination of different faces even. Yeah.
Or just someone that you didn't even realize you acknowledged. I think our brain has to store like those people that we walk past but we don't really see, but maybe they kind of pass by our peripheral vision. Mm-hmm. I think our brain stores that shit. It's not like we don't pay attention. Like it's actually getting stored somewhere.
I've heard that's how it works.
Aside from all the people that we acknowledge, like, oh, it's that guy I had a dialogue with at the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, I mean, like when you're at the park, let's say you're taking a jog or you're walking your dog at the park and there's literally like 15 people all spread out. Like maybe those people, like literally you just fucking see it and it gets stored somewhere. I don't know. It's crazy to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm confused though. If it's a dream for the guy in prison, what do these guys fucking think? Why don't they like, well, if it's a dream, fuck, we're gonna dream too and you'll get over it.
Because they're afraid they'll cease to exist. They don't want to die, baby.
Huh.
But he's telling him like this dude is kind of mental. We shouldn't let him kill a mentally insane person.
Okay.
So he doesn't even really believe it completely at this point.
It's just the mental aspect.
Yeah.
But the other guy that does kind of believe it, why would you entertain that? Like, we're going to cease to exist. This guy's fucking telling the truth. Like, why would anybody even entertain that? You'd think they'd both be on the...
Well, it's a good thing they did because it's fucking true.
Yeah, but like, you think they'd both be on the bandwagon of, okay, he's just mentally crazy or something.
They might be. It's been a while.
Because you would think that's what they both think, and that would be the twist that it was true. Is that? I mean, I know there's gonna be a twist.
That's probably how it was set up. Yeah.
And the twist is that it is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're probably about ready to see that twist. He's getting the bag over his head. Billy Bob Thornton's about ready to pull that lever. You ever see Monsters Ball?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good movie.
It makes me calm.
You got Heath Ledger, the only guy ever that kills himself by shooting himself in the chest, very blindly. You know, it's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that?
I don't even remember Heath Ledger in that movie.
He was his son. He kills himself right in front of him.
Oh, the dream just restarted. He's got to convince him all over again that he's not fucking... So yeah, it's basically like, because it's in his mind and he believes it's happening, he actually... See, this is kind of cool, like, random characters are swapped. Like the judge is that guy that he was in the cell next to now.
Oh, that is a neat little thing.
So he just relives this dream every night.
Who else is different?
We know that a dream can be real.
Oh, let me hear it.
But whoever thought that reality could be a dream? We exist, of course, but how? In what way? As we believe, as flesh and blood human beings, or are we simply parts?
So, is he sleeping 24/7, or in between these dreams, is he going to work, waking up. Like, oh,
that's what I think. That's what I assume.
And just every night he goes to bed, he has a stream.
But they didn't want to break the continuity and show him wake up and go to work.
That would have been a neat. That would have worked too, right? If he would have woke up, or that'd have been like kind of stock and cliche.
Plus, the episode had to end real quick.
You could have had the same effect of him waking up and then him going to work and then seeing these, like, the prisoner, seeing these people in his dream as different roles, like on his way to work. You know what I mean? I guess he could have did it a couple different ways. But yeah, it's a cool episode, man. You got me wanting to.
This is kind of cool. On Netflix, like, I clicked on more episodes, and the little, like, progress bar on the episodes I've already watched are all gray instead of red. So it's black and white on there too.
Oh, is that supposed to be a nod?
I think so.
Let me go back.
Usually they're red.
Yeah, I know they are. That's kind of cool. Let me go back to it. Let me see what's up. Maybe it'd do it for me too. That's neat though. Yeah, you got me want me to binge the show, and really, I probably should take advantage of it while it's on Netflix, because I'm pretty sure if they take it off, I'll be like, well, fuck, I should have did it. Should have waited. So I'll check it out. But anyway, let us know what you guys think of this episode, and give us recommendations of any other episodes of either Twilight Zone, or if there's another anthology show that we haven't touched yet. I keep mentioning Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and there's things like Tales from the Dark Side we haven't touched yet. Or if you want us to revisit more Tales from the Crypt or Friday the 13th, or you'll know that we've jumped the shark when we start doing Goosebumps.
I could do Goosebumps right now.
I don't want to do it.
Just laugh at them.
I don't want to do it. Maybe eventually we will. I wouldn't mind, it's kind of weird, man. Would it be weird if we kind of had like a string of Fox Kids stuff?
We could.
It's nostalgic. I mean, would it be weird if we did like episodes of the Power Rangers?
Yeah, we could.
Beetleborgs?
The whole fucking arc of the Green Ranger.
It might be kind of fun. I mean, there's a huge fan base of that out there.
There'd be a lot of points where we're like, okay, now we're seeing this part again. We're seeing them create the monster again. Okay, now we're seeing them morphin again.
All the reused footage.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun, man. I think we should. Those are all on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man. I think that might be. We might dab.
A little dab will do you.
A little dab will do you. But anyway, like I said, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys are subscribed and click on the dumb bell, and make sure that dumb bell alerts you every time we put up a video. And if this is where you get your shit primarily from us, that's awesome. We appreciate that. Feel free to check us out on iTunes too. We can be ourselves there. We're not neutered by Google. iTunes hasn't quite got Nazi bad like Google and YouTube are yet, so we can get away with a lot more over there. And the episodes usually go up earlier. So click on the link that we're going to put in the description of this video to go over there, and make sure to leave us a 5-star rating and, a nice little review if you like. That stuff's going to help us gain exposure within iTunes and build the BTM Revival family. Make sure, and for all you Google folks out there, we are on Stitcher and Google Play as well, trying to spread that net wide. And let's also pitch the Instagram. We recently kind of got active on Instagram. I think it's fun. It's a place where Zach can put all his funny ass thumbnails on there for these new episodes, and kind of market over there too. And just stupid pictures in general. I mean, don't you just put a lot of dumb shit?
Go there for all your BTM and Revival House memes, baby.
Yeah, and there's some photos, because like there's some old pictures on there. If you guys don't know what me and Riverman look like, for example, there's photos of us on there. I mean, you can go through the YouTube channel and look at some old interviews we've done. You can see my fucking ugly face. But Zach, you got to put some photos of you up there, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Mac and Zach Save the World have their own Instagram, but feel free to put a photo of you and Mac on there too. Just to kind of spread the love and cross pollinate. But
spread the juices.
Shoot us a comment on there, and we'll try and we're gonna start maybe reading those comments too. Why not, if we get enough of them? But that's all we got. You got anything you want to add, Zach?
Just that you called it. Make sure you click the dumbbell. We should see if we can customize ours to be a dumbbell.
That's pretty pointless. Thank you. All right, guys. Until next time. Bye, puppets. Have a good one.